miserable.
Yeah. So FPX have a ton of engage methods. So do BLG. And I have to question who really wins the scaling war. Different path. Might try to create something here.
Yeah, and again, right, we talked about the fact that we're looking at mid lane in particular for FPX to be a bit of a carry force. I think for BLG, that's the same case.
Oh, great patience. On already committed. Jway gets the flash pulverized to put on in his place. And that's first blood going over to Jachi.
Yeah, and just not tracking where the enemy jungler's going to be here. It's On, who is just a little bit too aggressive, costs himself his life, knows that the flashing and healing, not worth it.
Yeah, that's the catch 2020 of playing a control mage. Once you lose that flash, else is on the map. As On and Shadow are going to try and punish Sheer. He still has a flash of his own, but he already used the equalizer to kill the wave. On commits the flash, looks for the stun.
This is
decent
Jway.
damage from Elk, but the TP with Jway will at least provide some assistance here, but he doesn't have a flash of his own, so he might have just teleported into his death, depending on how much damage the rest of BLG can get in reliably. And yeah, that just looked like a freebie going over to BLG.
Yeah, Jway with the highs, Jway with the lows, unfortunately there. That teleport, I think if it was a 2 versus 2, might have been okay, but unfortunately BLG overstacked the numbers. Make it 3, and now they want Sheer as well.
And you know what? Because Jway doesn't wait for the TP, this just ends up being a guaranteed dive play for BLG. Yeah, On goes down, but Sheer's gonna miss out on a big wave.
Yeah.
It's another kill in the hands of Elk and Shadow. BLG just making pretty nice moves on the map.
Take some of the resists, make sure that somebody is a very, very squishy champion and squishy target. As it looks like FPX looking to contest. Remember, no flash on their mid laner, and Knight still with that scoop and flash available.
Yeah, the reprimands of that. Hang on. Might have sent it a little too early. Bin follows up with the call of the Forge God. Great chain of corruptions. They kill off Jway. Looking at IYY next, who is caught in the thick of it. Sheer is looking for a great flank with the equalizer, but the rest of BLG are able to scatter. Care cannot get in range. He still doesn't have a flash, so he cannot get far enough to close the distance. Seismic shove barely misses, and BLG just walk out with all 5 members alive.
The IYY on the minimap, maybe looking to get the most of those. But I'm looking at how well this game's going for BLG to begin with. Again, comparing the fact that FPX are a composition that probably wanted to be winning in this early game. Looking for Elk and Knight in these equalizer situations, as we now see the ramifications of some of those previous ganks into the mid lane. That he was, you know, Care's waiting to flash the shuffle from the Azir, so he doesn't think about flashing the Q from On. And the timing of which On goes in with his Q as we see Knight swoop in. BLG have done so far this game. And with the Rel has a very real opportunity versus triple immobile carries to be a massive threat.
Oh, look at this combo. The pillar guaranteeing the Call of the Forge God connects and just getting melted. Mike, at 13 minutes.
Hey, Sheer, buddy.
I'm not one to...
07.
Yeah. He still has flash. He's got an equalizer. He's going to use it just to kill the wave, because might as well get some CS and gold for yourself before you eventually get wiped off the face of the rift here. And the rest of BLG continuing the snowball as fast as possible.
Yeah, and you know, when we look at the cross map as well, right, like what was happening in the meantime? We've just lost 4 people top lane. Well, because Care got chunked out and because Jiachi got chunked out of the enemy team, like that just shows you how dire straits this game #1 is. And honestly, this is really good, I think, if you're a BLG fan, because this is the type of game that you're expecting to see from them. When we're looking at FPX, this is a team who is going to struggle through the entirety of Group Ascent.
They've done an exceptional job of playing to their strengths on some of the pieces that can make plays early on, as On and Jway are tangoing, fighting around this river brush. Double TP's coming in. Great crash down, intercepting Sheer on the way in, and just as soon as he TP'd in, he just as soon got executed. So now FPX don't have a top laner, and this Rift Herald should be free for BLG.
That TP channel and the time it took for him to get from bot lane into the mid lane was longer than it took for him to die. Like, the time in combat was less than the time spent traveling across Summoner's Rift. He got absolutely melted. And now they'll take the Herald. They're going to look to open up tier 1 turret mid lane with 5 members strong, and the potential use of the Herald as well. They should be able to do this very easily, very quickly. But a final engage from Jway.
I mean, Jway gets dropped pretty darn low. They take out On of the pitcher, but the Call of the Forge God from Bin is great to set up another knockup onto Jway. And look at that shuffle from Knight, scooping up IYY over the other side of the wall. Curtain call from Jachi will try to look for any straggler kills and revenge kills. Last curtain call bullet, not going to be enough to take out Shadow, though. About to come in for Bin as well. So BLG are well ahead of the curve here, and FPX are just scrambling to find any scrap of gold that they can get. Because this is now the point of the game, Rude, where BLG have taken everything from FPX.
You and go, guys, why did we make Baron spawn at 25 minutes? Like we're going to be sat twiddling our thumbs for so long, but IYY maybe caught pillar hits.
Oh boy, I think that pillar caught him as he was trying to EQ out. He goes down easily. Jway trying to set up a re-engage as Sheer flashing forward alongside Jachi. They find a big shutdown onto Elk. Maybe it could be more, but they drop Jway in the end. And now here comes the rest of the BLG carries ready to just pick up the pieces here as Jachi and Sheer managed to find an escape route far away from BLG. But BLG know that they don't need to continue getting kills on FPX members. They need to progress the game, and that's a free turret in the mid lane.
Yeah, I can just see on the minimap as well, Shadow was going on an absolute journey to try and find them and try to interrupt those recalls, you know, with the ease of execution that a Baron gives you. But equally, the way FPX are playing here, they might be looking to find a little pick.
I mean, I like it. When you're down this far ahead in gold, you got to go for these cheese bush plays, and Jway is going to punt Knight right back into Jachi's face. Big shutdown bounty goes over to Kair's pockets, and now BLG, without their main Emperor, he's going to be gone for another 35 seconds. He has teleport, but this could be FPX's window to start the Otacon and just take it without a contest.
They have to start it, but it won't be without a contest.
Oh, another pick on it. Is that Shadow?
Shadow's down.
Oh my god, that's big! FPX! They took out the jungler. Now there's no smite available unless On can swap to a spellbook smite. But remember, this is a weaker version, so it's going to be harder to pull off. IYY sends it. Cataclysm flash out to make sure that L can't go anywhere. FPX are turning it around. On and Bin have to salvage the fight here. On finds one on the Sheer, flashing forward before Kair. He's down below 200 HP. Bin, it's got to be
in. Here comes Knight.
Here comes Knight. They stalled out the fight long enough. Can the Emperor, the golden left hand, turn it around and save BLG's game from
CC?
He gets blown up! FPX are surviving and salvaging what should have been a done and dusted game and have closed the gold lead.
With that seismic shove, and now they're fighting on live as well.
Oh my god, they picked off Shadow again, Rude! FPX, they're pulling off miracles. Because the prime of this composition has kind of passed that mid-game point, but IYY is going to send it anyway with Kair. They're going to look for anything that they can get. The seismic shove still clips Elk, doesn't take him out completely. Kair was forced to flash. Jway following up now, but here comes Bin with the call of the Forge God right on top. Equalizer trying to add into the hot pot. Knight trying to decide whether he wants to fight this one or not. Kair surrounded now by Bin and Shadows. He's going to get chomped and bitten down to pieces. Now FPX are on the retreat. They've lost their mid laners all down to protecting Jachi on the way out. Knight trying to pursue him with the Sand Soldier, slowing him down. They've done away with the front line, and Jachi's got nowhere else to go. And BLG got a little bit messy a couple minutes ago, but they cleaned up the fight. They get the ace on the FPX, and they can now break open the base.
Yeah, look at how many people they lost as well, Rafa. Absolutely nobody. It's a clean ace, a swift one at that. And, you know, we had a little bit of a mess around the Atacon. Knight gets caught, and we give FPX a little bit of hope. But as soon as we reset, get 5 people back out on the map, BLG, with this better team fighting composition, are able to punish the overextension from FPX. Elk finally had his flashback up and finally was able to get out of a Cataclysm and baited in Kair, baited in IYY.
On how they're going to be creative and think of ways to come back in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a really good exercise for both teams, I feel like, right? With FPX, they had an opportunity to potentially come back into this game, and with the Vision Observer toggling here, that there is just no way in for FPX. Jachi likely to use the curtain call to find a way in for IYY.
Decent pick onto Knight, but he slides right back into the safety of the Baron pit. IYY's in there, but
Not
Shadow
quite.
secures the Baron. Curtain call bullets are flying, trying to get some decent damage into the members of BLG. On goes down, thanks to Jway, but traded immediately back on the Sheer and Jway himself. Shadow picks up the double, and now they are on the hunt, pursuing Jachi. The pillar forces him to flash. The Weaver's Wall will cut off some of the escape routes of BLG as they were trying to lock down remaining carries of FPX, but Shadow is cruising and styling. He's astro gliding on his former teammates in FPX, as he doesn't give a damn about which turret he crosses. He is ensuring that Kair will fall, and BLG will now have the victory march to end game 1.
Yeah, and for Shadow as well, what a game number 1 up against your old team, right? This is a team that he's expected to come away out on strong terms with, but 10, 2, and 9 on the Trundle, the most kills on his team, just taking his former teammates to the slaughter.
I was ready for BLG to end the game right then and there, but you know what? Take your bases, get even more items and gold purchase for yourself. Jway trying to look for a potential engage under the safety of this turret before it does eventually fall, but IYY did take a lot of poke damage from the members of BLG, and now
engage tools that FPX have drafted to try and find you a fight.
Well, they're going to find a fight, but not on their own terms here, Rude. IYY sends it for the Cataclysm just to get blown up. Sheer falls next. Curtain Call in the face of Shadow as he gets flung back with the Seismic Shove. Almost brings him down, but not enough to make it another death and kill for the side of FPX. Knight was trying to slide on in to see if he could catch Jotchi. Maybe a little too close. The Weaver's Wall will cut him off. But Bin is so tanky that he is not going to care at all. And now the rest of BLG should be able to make short work of these Nexus towers. The teleport coming in for another reinforcement wave of BLG's mid laner as he swoops on in. The Emperor's Divide into Flash will put an end to FPX. And that is game 1 in the books. BLG lead the series.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.